Hey, it's Mystic Messenger 369 here. I've got a question for you. Are we really alone in this universe? Think about it for a second. Billions of stars, billions of planets, and we're supposed to believe Earth is the only one with intelligent life? No way, there's something bigger going on. The sky is shifting, the energy around us is changing, and right now, 6 planets are aligning perfectly. The government knows, but they're not saying a word. Instead, they've buried the truth beneath layers of distraction, denial, and carefully crafted disinformation. For decades, anyone who asked questions got labeled crazy. But here's the thing. Now the truth is breaking through. The evidence? It's no longer just whispers and rumors. It's right there, in declassified files, repeating patterns, and the lives that have been changed forever. Today, we're going deep, not into conspiracy theory, but conspiracy reality. And by the end of this video, you'll start asking, what else are they hiding? Let's get into it. Stick around to the end, because the last one, it was kept secret for over 40 years, until a whistleblower blew the entire lid off. Hey folks, ever heard of the Tuskegee syphilis experiment? Buckle up, because this one's a wild ride. For 40 years, the government just watched as hundreds of black men in Alabama suffered from syphilis. No treatment, no help. They didn't lift a finger to help them. They didn't even tell them what was happening, they just watched. And get this, these men thought they were getting free health care. Can you believe that? They were promised free medical care, meals, even burial insurance. It was all a lie. Imagine thinking you're being cared for, only to find out you've been betrayed by those you trusted the most. It wasn't until 1972, 40 years later, that the truth finally came out. A whistleblower leaked the story. The press went wild, and people were outraged. Rightfully so. There were congressional hearings, lawsuits, the whole 9 yards. President Clinton eventually apologized for what happened at Tuskegee. But, an apology? After all that? It just doesn't seem like enough. The damage was done. And the scars remain. Hey everyone, buckle up, because this one is wild. We're diving into Operation Northwoods. Imagine this. It's the 1960s, the Cold War is raging, and the US is desperate to topple Cuba and Fidel Castro. The US government actually devised a plan to carry out acts of terrorism on its own soil. They called it Operation Northwoods. It involved hijacking planes, bombing cities, and even faking attacks on US military bases. They were seriously considering sacrificing their own people just to blame Cuba and ignite a war. This plan was actually approved by the Joint Chiefs of Staff. The only reason it didn't go through is because President Kennedy refused to sign off on it. He shut it down, thank goodness. This shows just how deep the control runs, and the lengths they will go to when power is at stake. Hey folks, you know I'm all about those conspiracy theories, not just for the drama but for what they reveal about us, our choices, and the bigger picture we're all a part of. But this next one keeps me up at night. We're diving into MKUltra. Imagine being drugged without your knowledge, your mind being tampered with, your memories stolen. That's what happened to countless people during MKUltra, the CIA's top-secret mind control program. This went on for decades, from the 1950s all the way to the 1970s. They used everything from LSD to electroshock therapy to hypnosis, all in an attempt to control people's minds. They wanted to create assassins, super soldiers, people who would do whatever they were told without question. And the worst part? They were experimenting on their own citizens. When word got out about MKUltra, they destroyed most of the documents, hoping to bury the truth forever. But some brave whistleblowers risked their lives to expose what was really going on. We still don't know the full extent of MKUltra, how many people were affected, what really happened in those secret experiments. Remember when folks used to laugh at the idea of the government spying on us? They called it paranoia. Oh, they're just conspiracy nuts, they'd say with a chuckle. But here's the twist. Those so-called nuts were onto something big. The NSA was indeed keeping tabs on us. In 2013, Edward Snowden, a former NSA contractor, blew the whistle and revealed the truth. Our phone calls, emails, and texts were all being monitored. The revelation sparked outrage and massive protests. The truth was out, and it was as chilling as a dark, stormy night. Ever wondered how far the government would go to keep control? Let's dive into COINTELPRO, the FBI's secretive counterintelligence program. This was a series of covert and often illegal operations that spanned decades, from the 1950s to the 1970s. Their mission? To disrupt and discredit domestic political organizations they deemed subversive. And who were these so-called subversives? Civil rights activists, anti-war protesters, black power groups basically, anyone who dared to challenge the status quo. They used wiretaps, infiltration, smear campaigns, even violence to silence their critics. COINTELPRO is a chilling reminder of how power can corrupt, and how far the government might go to suppress dissent. It's a powerful lesson. We must never take our freedoms for granted, because the moment we stop paying attention, it starts slipping away. Let's dive into a story where corporate greed meets spiritual awakening, Big Tobacco's dark secret. We all know smoking is harmful, right? But did you ever wonder how deep the deception goes? Imagine an industry so powerful, it could manipulate the truth about its deadly products for decades. Big Tobacco did just that, lying to the public about the dangers of smoking, even though their own documents showed the truth. They even paid scientists and doctors to spread false information, creating doubt about the link between smoking and diseases. It wasn't until the 1990s that the veil began to lift, and the truth started to emerge. Whistleblowers stepped up, lawsuits were filed, and the evidence against Big Tobacco became undeniable. Finally, the industry faced the music, and justice was served. Ever wonder how a single lie can spark a war? Let's dive into the Gulf of Tonkin incident. Picture this, it's August 1964, and the world is on edge. The US Navy destroyer Maddox claims it's under attack by North Vietnamese torpedo boats in the Gulf of Tonkin. Just 2 days later, the Maddox and another destroyer, the Turner Joy, report another attack. But wait, these so-called attacks gave the US the green light to dive deeper into the Vietnam War, but here's the kicker. The second attack, it never happened. The Gulf of Tonkin incident was a fabricated tale that led to the deaths of millions. It's a powerful reminder, always question what you're told. The truth might just save lives. Hey everyone, let's dive into the mystery of Bohemian Grove. Imagine this. Every summer, the world's most powerful men retreat to a hidden redwood forest in Northern California. We're talking presidents, CEOs, celebrities, basically the who's who of the elite. So what do they do there? That's the million-dollar question. The whole event is wrapped in secrecy with no outsiders allowed. There are whispers of bizarre rituals, pagan ceremonies, and even mock human sacrifices. Some say it's just a place for the rich and powerful to unwind and have fun, but others suspect there's something far more sinister going on. Whatever the truth is, one thing's for sure. Bohemian Grove is no ordinary gathering. Hey everyone, you know how much I love diving into historical conspiracies? This next one is a mind-blowing secret project that literally changed the course of history. Ever heard of the Manhattan Project? It was this top-secret mission during World War II to create the first nuclear weapons. Imagine thousands of scientists, engineers, and technicians working in total secrecy from 1942 to 1946. Their goal? To beat Nazi Germany in the race to develop the atomic bomb. The scale was so massive they built entire towns just for the workers and their families. The Manhattan Project was an incredible blend of science and spirit, a testament to human ingenuity, but it also opened the door to the nuclear age. Alright folks, hold on to your seats because this one's a real shocker. Ever heard of Project Sunshine? It was a top-secret government program from the 1950s and 1960s. So, what did they do? They gathered human tissue samples from around the globe to study nuclear fallout. Sounds pretty standard, right? But here's the kicker, they didn't ask for permission. They were swiping body parts from cadavers, taking bones from amputations, and even collecting stillborn babies. It took decades for the truth to surface, and when it did, people were furious. This was a massive breach of human rights, showing just how far the government would go in the name of science. And even now, we don't fully know what went down during Project Sunshine. Hey folks, we've just dipped our toes into some of the wildest conspiracies that turned out to be true. It's mind-blowing to think about how much is hidden from us, how much goes on behind closed doors. But remember, the truth is out there, waiting for us to uncover it. Don't just take things at face value. Question everything. Dive deep and do your own research. And most importantly, speak up when you see something off. Your voice matters, because as they say, the truth will set you free. Or will it?